We are live. Welcome to the Positive Power Hour. And I'm Dan, your host, and here's our co-host, Nicole.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, it's nice to be here tonight. I wasn't here last week, and you can probably see why. If what you're seeing on the screen looks awful right now, you should have seen it a week ago. It was horrible.
I have
And
pictures.
the reason for this, we'll just cover the elephant in the room right off the bat. There's Kimberlyn. Hi, Kimberlyn. Nice to see you here. The all of the stuff you see on my face is the result of doing what's called a chemo cream treatment. It's to keep down the possibility of skin cancer. And when you got a bald dome like this, you tend to have things like that develop on you. I always thought that it wasn't going to happen to me because I was what they called Black Irish, which was the darker skinned Irish people. And normally that doesn't happen, but I find out most of my brothers and sisters have had issues with it. And some of them are light skinned and I'm more darker skinned. But this round of chemo treatment therapy was really wicked, and it's quite uncomfortable and very ugly to look at. So my apologies for that, but you get me the way you get me. So there you are. So now that we've taken care of that, if you are, no matter what skin you are, whether you're light skinned or dark skinned, be careful of the sun out there and don't end up having to do stuff like this. All right. So wear sunscreen when you're out in the sun. Wear hats, that kind of thing, and take good care of yourselves. All right. Hi, Melly. Good to see you here too. There she is. Hi, Papa and Mama. Love you. We love you, of course. And Kimmy, same to you. We love you very much. For everybody that's on tonight for on the recording or here live, we try to be here every week. There's that saying I love so much that if you want to see God laugh, tell him your plans, right? My plan was to just do this treatment, have it be over in a couple of days and be done with it. And so that shows you what I know, right? But so we do our best to be here every week. The whole purpose of this is to help you remember where you want to go and how to get there. Okay. And we mean that in a positive way, not in the negative way. Yeah.
You got a free chemical peel, huh, Pop?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a chemical peel, all right. It sure is. But we want to help you get where you want to go in life, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight in helping to get a mindset for yourself so that you can kind of mold yourself into the role you want to play in life, right? And so what I'm talking about, we've talked about this before on the show, but we want to go into it in a little further depth, is the story that we create. And we all have stories, right, about who we are and what we are, or what we think we are, that kind of stuff, and our past that has molded us into who we are now, and all of that is just drama and BS. All right, you can be whoever you want to be within reason, right? I'm never going to be able to be Wilt Chamberlain or LeBron James or a great baseball player like Richard or any of those kinds of things because I just don't have. I'm not tall enough and I'm not athletic enough. And if I wanted to pursue those things forever, I'd just be a frustrated person, right? So you have to use some reason and some logic and all of that about who you are. But most of the time, the restrictions we have on ourselves are placed on us by ourselves, not by other people. And yet we will listen to other people's opinions, and we will listen to other people's suggestions, and we will take that criticism that people love to give to other people, and we'll own that and say, well, see, and then there's that one that's really, really strong, is the imposter syndrome. Do you know what that is, Nicole? Do you remember?
I think so.
Yeah. What is it?
Just living like a chameleon, really.
Well, the imposter syndrome is saying, who am I to think that I can do this? All right. And the truth of the matter is, you can, like I said, you can do whatever you want to do. There's no thought police. There's really nobody in the world that's saying you can't do that. It's just our own restrictions. So what we want to do with the Power Hour is to help you create your own news story about who you are and why you are not an imposter. You know, there's all kinds of education you can get. You can go to college, you can go to trained schools, you can, but the school of life is probably the most basic training program you can take. And whether you've been on this planet for 10 years or 20 years or 100 years like me, you gain knowledge through those years. And that knowledge is valuable because there's people that don't have it, right? And you can share that with other people to help them get through life a little easier. It's like there's a big debate right now between different factions about whether we should cancel student loan debt, or whether they should be made to pay it like everybody else did. And I can understand both sides of the equation, but the way I see it is that if I can help make somebody else's life a little easier than mine, why wouldn't I want to do that? I don't want anyone to go through the struggles I went through if I can help that, right? And we all have to struggle because that's how we create that pressure that creates the diamonds, right?
Yep.
But we don't have to make it so darn difficult, so we can make those changes. So that's what the Positive Power Hour is, reminding you that you are that divine spark of God within you, and that because you have him flowing through your DNA, there is nothing that you can't accomplish if you'll just keep applying yourself and not give up.
Yes.
Because most people quit before the miracle. And that's that. I always love to. I have a friend of mine, Joe, who he and I talk about this stuff all the time. And it's like, how do you know when to quit? And I don't have an answer for that, right? I am probably the most stubborn person when it comes to wanting to achieve certain things. I just don't give up, like my business. I just don't give up. I've never made a lot of money at it. But it's not because the product doesn't work. It's because my marketing didn't work. And that's what I'm constantly working on improving. And that's part of what we're going to talk about tonight, too. It's the same thing. It's about the story. So when we talk about the story, let's start with who is a hero and who is a guide in any story. In fact, I'm doing a course right now with a gentleman that talks about the fact he was a writer in Hollywood, and they have certain scripts that they follow, certain guidelines that you follow and once you understand this guideline, you can foresee how every movie is going to play out before you even see it, right? And so the first thing that you have, there's two main things you have. You have a hero and you have a guide. But the question is, which one is which? So how many people would think that the hero would be something like, would the guide be someone like Superman, or would the guide be maybe somebody like Batman or Robin, or how would that play out, right? Like in my own business, would you consider me a guide or a hero? Which would that be in the story, right? And what they describe in this business course is that too many businesses try to play the role of hero. I'm here to save you, and my product will, change the way you live and all of that. And that's trying to be a hero. Rather than saying, I know where you want to go. I've gone through that same journey. Let me show you how to get there. Right?
Yes.
That's the guide. The guide doesn't have to scream from the rooftops that he knows all and does all. All he does is he attracts the The hero. The hero is not what we would think a hero would be. A hero is not that, Superman, I'm here to save the world and all of that. It's the journey that Superman went through to become a hero. That's what a hero is. A hero is somebody who starts off kind of like all of us that start out not feeling all that confident, not feeling all that attractive, not feeling capable, being full of self-loathing and self-doubt, right? And has to work their way through the journey to get to the point that they feel good about themselves and can then become the guide for other people. And that's the wonderful thing about that journey that we go through, is that once we discover that we're not that piece of garbage that we thought we were, that we're just as capable as most people, if not more than some, less than others, right? That we are all human, and just by the fact that we're all human, we get to understand that we're going to make mistakes.
Yes.
And that's okay. And once we get that, we can start laughing at the mistakes, right? It's like, you do something, you go, geez, what an idiot. I can't believe I did that, right? But you don't beat yourself up, at least not for very long. Sometimes a little bit of pain's a good thing, right? It's kind of like when you stub your toe, it kind of reminds you not to, be careful when you're around that bedpost, right? Or whatever the pieces that you hit, right?
Usually the bedpost.
Usually the bedpost. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's where a little pain is good, right? Because if it didn't hurt, you'd just keep doing it. So,
Yeah.
and that's the same thing with the mistakes we make in life. They're only mistakes if you keep doing it, right? If you keep doing it, then it's something intentional and you need to pay attention to it. So that's the story of the hero and the guide. The hero is a flawed person who wants to be Superman or whatever the role is he or she wants to play. The greatest mother on earth, the greatest kitchen, the greatest cook, the greatest whatever, right? But we don't think we can get there. So we then are in that state that we talk about so often on our course here about the huddled masses living in quiet desperation, right? We've got this mind that keeps talking to us and giving us all that negative feedback because we haven't trained it to be our best friend, which we ought to, right? I mean, nobody and nothing is closer to you than your mind. And yet we kind of ignore it. It's like God's right inside us. We don't even talk to him, right? So, it's, that's the whole idea, is that the mind has to become our best friend and we have to train it. And then, the thing that I went through in my journey, you've all heard that I had just a horrible self-esteem. I had thought I was the ugliest thing God ever made, and that why any woman would be interested in me was beyond me. I always thought that if any woman was interested in me, there must be something wrong with her, right? And so those are the kinds of things I had to work through. And today I'm grateful to have had those experiences, to have felt that way about it, right? But when I was trying to get through it all, it seemed like I'd take one step forward and 3 steps back, right? I'd have a day or two where things felt, where I felt like I was doing okay and I got this, and we're going to get there. And then all of a sudden, some negative thought would come in, and then it would be that imposter thing. Who the heck do you think you are? It's like, oh goodness. And when you have, my feeling has always been that the vast majority of introverts are only introverts because they're too scared to come out and talk to people.
Wow.
Whether I'm right or not, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just the way I look at it, right? Having been an introvert, goodness, you okay?
Yeah.
Having been an introvert, that was my experience. I didn't talk to people because I was afraid I'd offend them, and that maybe I didn't have anything intelligent to say, and all of these things, right? So training the mind for me was just such a battle. It was so hard until I found out about the whispers, right? Da, 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 da. They took away so much of that negative mind chatter that was going on all the time. And what I found was that I was an introvert until Richard started playing baseball. Well, how about that? So give us a little more feedback on that, Melly. Tell us what changed you in that regard to become more of an extrovert through baseball. Probably being around all those people all the time, yelling and screaming, encouraging your son in a positive way and rooting him on. I don't know, but those are what I would think did it, right? But and Melly, also, if you could comment on the fact Luke made me the team mom.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Absolutely. But so here's my question for you. Which felt better? Being an introvert or being extroverted, being that where you feel comfortable no matter where you're at and who you're talking with? Which one feels better? And then Kimberlyn says, definitely an introvert over here. So you raised introverts, Kate, Nick. Kate, Nick, you raised introverts.
Yes, but if you talk to Kimberlyn, she lights up a room. Same with Melinda.
Right.
But
see, isn't that a great example of how we don't see ourselves the way the world sees us, right?
yes.
And it's like that test I told you about where I had all my friends, write down what they thought were my positive and negative attributes. And it was polar opposite to the way I looked at myself, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, gosh, how could all of these people look at me the same way, but I saw it different? Who's wrong? Right?
Me. Yes.
Yeah, me. Absolutely. And I'll bet you that everybody that watches our show can relate to that, right?
Yeah.
That I always joke and say that, I've really got people fooled. They have no idea who I am, right? But the reality is who I am is who you see. There's no different. You've been around me a long time now, Nick, right? Have I been any different?
Nope. Always crazy.
Hey, always crazy. Absolutely. Okay, for me, here's Melly saying, to me, being an introvert because it's my comfort place. Sometimes it's scary as an adult to talk to new people. The huddled masses live in quiet desperation, right? What I know from myself, and Melly, thank you for sharing that, because that's exactly the kind of thing that I think other people need to see and hear, right? Is that it's, kind of like the Fleetwood, not the Fleet, who is it? What band was it the song that talks about, I have become comfortably numb, right? Now that there's a lot of different versions of that, or why it's like that, but that's kind of the way people get is that they've been beat up so much and they're so uncomfortable talking to new people because they don't know how to, that they just put themselves in this little cave within themselves, right? And that's not, it's okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, wonderful, right? And more power to you. But from my experience, having been an introvert, I can tell you that it's really nice to be an extrovert. It's fun, right? I feel freer. I don't have to worry about how people perceive me because it doesn't really matter, right? If the old saying that if you realized how seldom people think of you, you wouldn't worry about what they think of you, right? And the even more exciting thing about that is that I get to learn so much more by interacting with people. I get to learn like where they came from and how they got to where they are in their lives and what their passion is and what excites them and what career path they followed, and just a myriad of things that to me enrich my life. But I also notice that when I take time to ask them about those things, they light up, right? And in the job I'm doing now, I'm working as a cashier at Best Buy. And so I talk to a lot of people all day long. And it's rewarding how many times people say, gosh, I haven't had this much fun buying something in a store ever. So you're a lot of fun. I go, well, thank you. That's the way I want to live my life. I want to have a lot of fun in my life, right? So it's an attitude. It's a thought process that I had to work on to get past all that negative training that I had given myself, right?
Yes.
Nobody did it to me, right? Everybody would say, "Oh, Dan, you're such a nice guy. You're always so helpful and everything." And yeah. Well, if you knew who I really was, you wouldn't feel that way, right? Oh my God, it's so tiring, right? So think of it, and let's go back to the hero and the guide proposition. That what we all are is guides in training. So the journey that you're on never ends, right? There's always more for us to learn. And when we die, we just go on to another level. At least that's my beliefs. We go on to another level and live a different experience then, right? But everything that we learn here now, we can use to enrich others. So as parents, we're parents, but we're also guides, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're here to guide our children along to live a as full a life and a happy a life as they possibly can, to let them know that we believe in them every single minute, right? No matter what they go through, they never doubt that we love them, right? And that's the role of the guide as the parent, right? And I talk all the time about business and the fact that, district managers and managers of stores and whether it's in manufacturing or in retail or whatever, the manager who takes the role of the guide or the trainer, if you will, trains his staff to be the best staff possible. And when they do that, they create a really strong team that's really motivated to do well for the store or the company, whatever the case might be. But even more importantly than that, a good manager helps to grow his people, helps to give them more confidence in themselves and to reach out beyond themselves to how they can train other people in the workplace or in home or any of those things. It's just plain positive power. Right? No, I'm the boss and you'll do what I say and that's that. That is so old and so wrong. It never was right. It never will be right. And
it doesn't work.
Huh?
It doesn't work.
No. And and I was thinking about you when I was mulling over this topic tonight, and I was thinking about as a realtor, right? You can be the hero by getting somebody the house they're looking for. But you empower them by making them the hero, right?
Yes.
By saying, my role here is to help you find the home of your dreams that's going to help you realize everything you want your life to be. That's what I'm here for, right?
To help guide you, yes.
Huh?
To help guide you in that area.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Right?
Yes.
But too many times agents will talk about they're the hero because they're going to get them what they, I'm going to sell your house for you. Well, it's more than that, isn't it? Right? It's a whole different attitude, right? Let me help you realize your dreams because I've been through this enough times where I can show you the pitfalls. I can show you how to get the most out of your home, right? Like learning how to stage a home, right? Or do you use a staging company when you sell a home? Or
we do have one,
right?
Yeah,
okay.
it
Because
depends on
important, right?
Yeah, it depends on what's going on with it, but yeah.
Right. So even in our workplace, we can determine for ourselves that we're either going to be heroes or guides. Remember, the hero is the flawed person who doesn't think they can achieve it, right? So if you're a hero in real estate, it means you're an agent that doesn't know very much and doesn't feel very confident about what you're doing, right? So you want to play the role of the guide.
Yes.
Right? And whether you're doing that or whether you're in loan business, like my friend that hasn't been on the call for a while, but I think he's going through some transition times. Even working in a bank, you can decide whether you're going to be a hero or a guide. Most of your customers would much prefer for you to be a guide because they're working on being a hero in their life, right? They don't need another hero. They need another guide. They need a guide that can show them the things they don't understand about finances or about real estate or about quieting their mind or whatever the field might be. Baseball, that you don't need to be a hero coach, right? You need to be a guide coach, a coach that says, okay, let's work on this together to show you how to, and then give them the positive feedback about, wow, you did this great. Now let's try doing maybe a little different this way. And, it's like Richard's getting his power stroke now, right? He's getting a little older and a little more muscle, I'm sure. And he muscled one out for the first time in the championship game, right?
Yep.
Hey, Richard, congratulations, by the way,
the fence.
On our call. Yes, way to go.
Yes.
Four straight games, right?
Yes.
In a San Diego tournament. And, we were talking earlier about what awesome parents Richard has that go to every single one of his games and they coach and they, was it the mom coach or what is it? They made her the team mom, right?
Yep.
Made me the team mom. And so much participation by the parents in their life, and they both work, and they both work hard, and I'm sure they're tired when they get home, and
they have a new baby,
right?
Yes.
And one that was in the hospital for a while, and my goodness, the stress load, right? And yet they take the time to be there for him, and I think that's just wonderful. And, I'm so proud of that family. They're just an amazing group of people. And here she goes. Yes, cleared the fence by at least 10 to 15 feet. So he's getting his power stroke. That's awesome. And maybe one day, Melinda, you'll be able to retire, right? I know you don't care about that. You care about him being happy and feeling fulfilled in whatever direction he goes in his life, right? I think that's awesome. All right. So the power hour tonight, I can tell you because I wasn't sure I was going to make it back this week because, as you can see on the camera there, things aren't healed up quite yet, right? And it's pretty sore, to be honest with you. So I'm going to cut it short tonight if y'all don't mind. All right. And we'll do our best to get back to the power hour next week. I'm happy for those of you that are on the call tonight. If you get to watch this, let me go through the banners here just to make sure that anybody that does want to learn more can do that. Here we have the Facebook group, Mind Whispering. And here's the YouTube channel. And here's the email address. Very good, Nicole. Awesome. Yes. And here we have the email address. So you guys can reach me anywhere, right? And there's the phone number. You're always welcome to call me as well. And I wish you all a very wonderful, positive power hour week. Be the guide out there for those that need your help. And we all know there's plenty of people that can benefit from the knowledge that you've gained through your life, right? And, the best way to get, what was it Melinda said? Let's go back here a minute. We got another comment. Love you, Pop. Feel better. Thank you so much. Richard is blushing. Yay.
Yes. I do want to say feel better, Pop, and I'll see you soon.
All right. One more, but I wanted to check one other thing.
Oh.
Melinda mentioned that to her being an introvert, because it's my comfortable place, sometimes it's scary as an adult to talk to new people. And I've totally lost where I was going with that, except for the fact that when we get out from ourselves and we really care about other people out there, we can make a major difference just with a smile sometimes. just with an acknowledgement that they're there, right? Or like that day that Melinda just mentioned to a woman that she liked her hair. It wasn't the hair, right?
Yeah.
And that it made the woman just glow.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can take a moment throughout our days to realize that we can, you know, yeah, thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, I know. I know. I apologize for looking as gross as I do, but I have no control over it at this point. And this side, if you guys knew what it looked like a week ago, you'd go, wow, he looks a lot better. It was bad. But so just take a moment, you know, every once in a while to think about somebody other than yourself, right? You know, we can be so self-consumed, right? Because that's just the way we are. Oh, Melinda, this is all you're handsome. That's the other Melinda, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Melinda, are you back to work now?
Yes, she's back. I saw her yesterday.
Yay, good. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see. All right. But yeah, it's
Don't scare her like that, Dad. She's our friend.
You know, Melinda, you might want to go over to the optometrist over there in Costco and get your eyes checked, okay? So as I'm getting ready to close for the night, I just want to remind everybody that if you see somebody without a smile, give them one of yours. They're free and they make such a big difference, right? So thank you for understanding the shortness of our night tonight, and I'm going to get some rest and let the space heal. Love you all very much, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.
See you soon. Have a great week.
All right. Bye-bye.